Okay, we're going to go ahead and start the regular city council meeting for August 6th. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mayor Racy,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Porter,
Here.
Councilman Miller,
Present.
Councilman Webster,
Here.
Councilman Dowd,
Here.
Councilwoman Skiff,
Here.
Councilman Wagner. Absent, quorum is present.
Thank you.
Item number 1 on the agenda is to approve the agenda.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2 is City Council minutes. 2A is special meeting of July 16th, 2019.
Motion to approve.
Support. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2B is the minutes of regular meeting July 16th, 2019.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 3 is boards and commissions. 3A is accept the resignation of Kristen Wolf from Parks and Trails Committee.
Move to approve.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And item 3B is accept the resignation of Kelly Staley from the Building Authority.
Move to approve. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3C is accept the resignation of Kurt Burton from the Downtown Development Authority.
Motion to approve. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And just so everybody knows, we'll be sending letters out to all of them.
Item number 3D is appointment of Keith Budkovich to the Zoning Board of Appeals as second alternate.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4 is communications and reports. 4A, memo of from the Finance Director regarding the investment report.
Wish of council.
Receive and file.
You want a motion for that or just you're fine? Okay.
Item number 5, general items. 5A, approve the request from Knights of Columbus to use the vacant city-owned land north of their building to host a children's event on October 5th, 2019.
Move to approve. Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Five B is approval of the request from Wayne Historical Society to hold a cemetery walk on Sunday, October 6th, 2019, from 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. on the city-owned property of Glenwood Cemetery.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
5C is approval of the agent agreement with Budzinski and Company to continue dissemination agent services for the next 5 years in the amount of $1,000 per year.
Motion to approve.
Support. Any questions from council?
I have one.
Okay.
So on the paragraph,
Hold on one second. I'll have Ms. Sam
oh,
come on up
thanks.
because she's going to be answering your question. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Hi. So, through the chair, can I? Okay, thank you. So on paragraph 8, it says something about additional expenses of $175 an hour. I was wondering if you could give us like an example of what a significant event requiring something like for additional charges of $175 an hour.
I haven't had any significant events with them, so I think they're just covering themselves.
I can add to that through the chair. Would you like me to add to that, Katie? So Katie is correct. We have not had any significant events. I think it's if, that there is something beyond the scope of work that may come up. Right now, Budzinski and Company has been with the city for years, and they do a really good job, and they've been working really closely with us to try to find new bond ratings because of the status of our bonds being at a very, very low rate. And so, like with other contracts, normally what'll happen is if there's a circumstance that comes up where they have to travel or where they have to, go beyond the scope, they will let us know. And so all contracts usually add that little bit of an amount just in case something comes up.
Okay, anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5D is approval of the purchase agreement between the City of Wayne as seller and FPJ Investments LLC and HP Snap Investments, both purchasers, for the sale of 4 residential properties in the amount of $36,572.09.
Move to approve.
Support. Any questions? Okay.
Through the chair, could we have someone give us some background information for the public regarding this matter? Thank you.
Sure.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. The background on this is each year, Wayne County has a tax foreclosure program. It's called the right of first refusal, where they offer municipalities the opportunity to purchase properties that are foreclosed on. The program was put in place a number of years ago. When we determine that we want to purchase one of the properties, we turn around and sell them to 2 of our developers that you've all seen the homes on that we're working with. There are some guidelines in place that when they purchase these homes, they bring them up to code. They put all new kitchens in them, new appliances, new flooring, new paint. Then they turn around and they sell them for a much higher amount, which is obviously a benefit to all the neighbors in the area because they're raising the property values in the area. There is a criteria in place that says that they cannot rent those properties. They have to be homeowner occupied. So it's also reducing the number of rentals in our community along with adding value.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? I'm just going to say, we've said this before, we've been doing this for a number of years. This is a great program. We've been seeing houses now being actually home-owned instead of rental, and it's over 60 houses that we've been able to do this with or more. So it's been a very good thing for the city and helping increase everybody's property values. So thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
I can take it on this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, appreciate it. First question is, this $36,572 and change, where's that going to go to? Is it going into the general fund, or does it,
Okay.
is that correct?
Lori, just ask your
Okay,
questions,
and
she'll
another
answer your
thing,
questions.
Just for correction, FPJ Investments, is that the same gentleman that's been coming here, I believe his name's Jim Budziak? Is that correct? Okay, and I'd like to know just, where this money's going to be going to.
Yeah, go ahead. You can.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So this is the amount of money that the county dictates that we charge the person that we sell the property to. We have a portion of, say if there were outstanding taxes, and the amount to buy the property from the county was, say, $20,000. Our approved amount may be $30,000 because or say $25,000, because there are still $5,000 in the summer taxes that are owed. So the amount of money that we collect will cover the residual and the rest of the taxes that are owed on the properties. So basically, it makes us whole We do charge a $300 per property administrative fee, which most communities do, and that's to cover our time, and that's in addition to this amount, to cover our time per property to process all the paperwork, the closing, and our legal bills associated with the transactions.
Thank you. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5E is approval of lease extension of 3850 Second Street, Suite 120, between Ordum Associates Limited Partnership and the City of Wayne Youth and Family Services Department until October 31st, 2022.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5F is approval of change order to the professional services agreement with Stantec to provide the remainder of the construction engineer services to finish the 2019 Mildred Street Water Main Project in the amount not to exceed $23,800.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any questions?
We have Mike explain that, please,
Sure.
just for the,
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, when we began this, or as we were about to begin this project for the water main replacement, we had a substantial change order that we needed to bring before you so that we could add water services that went from the property line to the water meter of the homes that had lead services or galvanized with a lead gooseneck. We've been working on that. Our consultant has had to work on that also with us. So that has increased the time that they've had to spend. So the reimbursement for their services to, let me back up. Initially, when our consultant gave us a proposal for services, it didn't include those additional water services, which have been a fair amount of work. We spent quite a lot of time at that. We've completed those water leads. We still have paving to go yet. We're going to be paving tomorrow, actually, all things going the way they should. We're looking forward to some new pavement in the city of Wayne here. But in order for Stantec to be able to finish the engineering services, because we added those water services, that's what this change order is that we're bringing before you tonight.
Any other
thank you,
questions?
Mr. Biden.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 6 is administration reports.
I'm going to have Mr. Mills come up through the chair. Mr. Mills, come up and do the sesquicentennial minute first.
Thank you. Given recent news events in the school district, I thought giving a little history on the integration of the Wayne Westland Community School District would be an appropriate topic for tonight's sesquicentennial minute. The year was 1963, and Mrs. Nora White, a native of Inkster and graduate of Eastern Michigan University, was hired as a special education teacher for the 1963-64 school year, thus becoming the first full-time black teacher employed by the Wayne Public Schools. Mr. William E. Wilson, Director of Special Services, offered Miss White a classroom at Hamilton Elementary where her passion for teaching children, especially the mentally challenged, was put to good use. She joined substitute teacher Mrs. Larney Williams in the district's employ. In 1964, the Wayne schools hired Mr. Walter Durant, a native of Birmingham, Alabama, where he was a high school mathematics department chair. Mr. Durant wanted to gain employment in the North, and through a mutual friend, Mr. William Groves, principal of Marshall Junior High, offered Walt a mathematics teaching position. By the early 1980s, Walter Durant became principal of Marshall Junior High himself. He later went on to be principal of Adams. He was my first building administrator when I opened a special education orthopedic classroom at Marshall. By this time, the district employed many minority staff. In my career, besides Mr. Durant, building administrators included Darlene Scott, Celestine Sanders, later on Dr. Sally Perkins, who was promoted to a position at central office. Bobby Kelly, now Pastor Bobby Kelly, currently at Crossroads Community Church here in Wayne, spent several years in building administration in the district. Other minority administrators included Dr. Jose Mueller and Dr. Paul Salah, to name a few. Currently, Miyava Cornish is Director of Preschool Services at Stottlemyre. Dina Pringle is Principal of Graham. Kente Rosser is Principal of Franklin Middle School. Dr. Andre Townsell, Assistant Superintendent for Culture, Climate, and Social Emotional Support. Breaking through a glass ceiling, Dr. Michelle Harmala became our first female superintendent. She is followed by our second female superintendent, Dr. Shelley Holt, our current superintendent of schools and the first African-American to hold that position. Shauna Walker and Melody Hines are trustees of the Board of Education. Like our community, our schools have become very diverse, which enriches the educational and life experiences of our students and residents. Thank you.
And then there was a question at the last meeting, which I'm going to have the city attorney answer. The update on the 2 parks that were sold, is there going to be a groundbreaking and did the sale go through?
Thank you. Through the chair, my understanding is that through our office, the purchase agreements were signed the day after the last meeting.
Yes.
So it would have been that Wednesday, and there's going to be a several-month period of due diligence, and then a closing. Hasn't been scheduled, but will be scheduled probably somewhere 120 days to 6 months from the time the purchase agreement was signed. So there should be further information as we move down the road a few months.
Thank you. And then I just have one final comment. There's a lot of questions about the city looking at alternative energy options. We are always looking at alternative energy options, especially for our municipal buildings. And if the council will recall, last fall, I submitted 2 grants to the fiscally distressed cities, villages, and townships. It was an application to the state, and the city, because of our fiscal challenges, we still can apply for this. We've managed to get 4 out of 4 grants so far. There were 2 grants that I submitted. One was for the HVAC system and the unit at the police department, which we all know is costing the city a lot of money, and the chief is working diligently with our building and engineering director, Mike Byton, to identify the best possible way to utilize that $100,000 that we received. The second option, I actually was really throwing a Hail Mary, and the reason being is because to basically do upgrades to 5 of our buildings, just not everything, but just some of the basic upgrades to do it for some cost savings, it was going to cost the city approximately $1.7 million. The grant that I submitted was $1,691,000, and that would have covered the library, City Hall, DPW, Fire Department, and the Police Department. We were denied that grant because the entire pot was only a little over $2.5 million. But, you know, we took a chance, certainly. The issue that we have with these upgrades is they cost money. City does not have the money to spend on $1.6 million in upgrades. We also don't have the bonding capability, as everybody up here knows, and we've stated, the city still has a junk rating bond status, and that comes from years and years of spending money, bonding for everything, paying cash for nothing. When you bond for everything, you pay cash for nothing. What happens? You do not get a good bond rating because you cannot keep up with the payments. You overspent what you didn't have. And that's what's happened with this city. And so right now, we have a number of bonds that we're trying to pay off. New buildings are wonderful. New things are great. But when you don't pay cash for them and you keep kicking the can down the road, what ends up happening is the ability to bond is just not there. Bobby Budzinski, the company that was just approved by the council, is helping me try to find a better bond rating, but nobody wants to take that on because of the fact that we just do not have the financials in place yet to make our bond rating better or pay off what we have currently. The other option is loans. Well, that's kind of the same thing. We will not get a low-interest loan with our bond rating being at a junk status right now. The more that the city can get out of these bonds, the better off we will be, certainly. Our credit rating, so to speak, will get better as we have less debt. That's going to take time. We still have between $8 and $10 million in debt, which is a lot for this city. Not to mention the fact that we still have pension costs that we're paying. They take all of that into consideration. Certainly, and unfortunately, when the city did cut the retiree health care, that was a plus for the city, not a negative for the retirees, but it was a plus for the city because it showed that our cash flow and cash position would be better. However, I disagree with that, with their assessment on that, because the city is utilizing that funding to try to pay down our pension obligations. And that's what should be happening. It shouldn't be used to pay anything else right now. And so I don't think, I want the public to understand, the city's not denying that we should be looking at alternative energy options, but they're not free. Everything comes with a cost. And unfortunately, I don't have the checkbook at the city big enough to do this. Could we do it in pieces? Sure. But I'm still trying to figure out how to keep our police force intact, how to keep our fire department intact, and how to get to possibly opening on Fridays for City Hall. Those are very important things for this community as well, and those are the things we hear at City Hall all the time. So again, I just wanted to state that we're not against looking at other options, and we will constantly look at other options. But even with this fiscally distressed grant, even if the new governor does keep this in place, because this was something that was under the past governor, you know, $2.5 million, and you have over 1,000 cities asking for that money. We're lucky that we got in the top 12. Only 12 to 13 communities benefit from this in the entire state. And we have gone 4 for 4. And the reason we've gone 4 for 4 is not a great reason. It's because we're fiscally distressed still. So we still have a ways to go. And right now, the city is focused on trying to do everything we possibly can to maintain operations and function as a government. And that means doing our best to maintain roads, water and sewer, inspections, trying to identify businesses. We're doing everything that we possibly can from that front. So, but that doesn't negate the fact that we won't still continue to look for options, and we're always open to opportunities. But if there's a dollar sign behind them and that's significant, it's going to be very difficult for us. And then the last thing I just wanted to say is that you hear that there are groups out there that say, well, if you put this solar system in, or this solar energy system in, and you can pay with your savings. Well, if you don't really have the money to back that up, that's not going to work either. Businesses don't do these things for free. And right now, if I were in a business, I would honestly not, I'd look at the city's finances and probably say no until we're in a little bit better shape. So I just wanted to clarify that. I apologize for going on a little bit more, but I felt it was important that everybody understood that last year I did try for this grant, but the police department's number of $100,000 was more in range of what the grant could afford. So that'll conclude my report.
Okay, thank you.
Public comments for matters not on the agenda. Citizens are to limit their comments or requests to 3 minutes. The City Council asks that if you do have a question or concern, to bring it to the attention of the appropriate departments whenever possible. If you feel the matter has not been resolved satisfactorily, you are encouraged to bring it to the attention of the city manager, and if still not resolved satisfactorily, to the mayor and to the City Council. The mayor and the City Council and the department heads may not respond to the questions at the meeting, but will respond by the next City Council meeting or as soon as possible once they have looked into the matter.
Mr. Blackwell?
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. As you know, school will be starting August 28th, and the intersection of Haroon and Fourth, we have a stop sign east and west. We really need a 4-way stop there because the neighbors are out there. We got people, and I'm going to try to put this as delicate as I can. You have some drivers out there that really haul some tail from Winslow to Richard. And there was even an incident recently where, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was DUI, OUI, ABC, I don't know, but a driver was driving a pickup truck, cut across the lawn on a corner. Long story short, ended up taking out a parked car. There are several children in that area. We desperately need a four-way stop there. So I know we have the stop signs at DPW, I guess. Just stick them in it. You know, we need it in place before school starts because it's bad. Second thing, if I'm correct, the minutes of July for the DDA, they approved to purchase a banner for the Veterans Peace Memorial. It's yet to be placed there, just to let people know, hey, we haven't forgotten about this. It's under construction or it's due for remodeling or whatever. There's no banner up there as of yet, and that was approved back, like I said, back in July from the DDA. Another question, how much money total, and I can wait till the next meeting, how much total has been raised and donated for the Veterans Peace Memorial as of yet? And where is that money? Is it sitting in a escrow account? Just asking for an update because, as I stated, the DDA did approve to purchase a banner for that, but yet there's nothing on there, and I don't have to tell you that it looks bad. And could you refresh my memory? Did we pay a consulting firm, I guess, to look at the Veterans Peace Memorial? Did we have somebody come in and look and evaluate the situation? Because it's been so many meetings ago, I can't remember. And if we did, how much did that cost, and did that come out of the funds that were raised and donated for our Veterans Peace Memorial? Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Mills?
Yes, I'd like to invite everyone in the listening audience. This Thursday, August 8th at 7 p.m., the Historical Society is hosting a beginning genealogy workshop. The public is invited to attend. It's a free meeting. This Friday and Saturday, I want to remind everyone about Downtown Days on Veterans Plaza next to the library. The Historical Society will have an information booth there, and I'd love to take your membership money if you'd care to join. Next week, Wednesday, Healthy Wayne is sponsoring a community walk at Atwood Park. We're meeting at the back pavilion at noon, and the walk will go to 1 o'clock. There's some information that'll be given first, and then a short walk around the trails there. There will also be some vendors and information tables there from Beaumont, the library, the Historical Society, etc. And then on Sunday, August 25th, from 1 to 3, the Historical Society is having our annual ice cream social on the grounds of the museum, and you are certainly all invited. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Ms. Rockwell.
Kathy Rockwell. Last week, or at the last meeting, I mentioned the thing about the parks. And Mr. Reese, you got very upset at me, and I'm sorry that I upset you. And you as much as called me a liar or told me I didn't know what I was saying. And I think, and other people spoke that night, you were kind of rude to them. And I really think you owe us an apology. Thank you. But another question, do we have any farmer's market this year at the Beaumont Hospital? Is that going on? It is? Do you know what day that is? Is it on a Wednesday or Thursday or?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
I think it, yeah.
I don't
think
do
it's Thursday.
Facebook, I don't do internet. I want to talk to you people face to face and don't do any of that junk. Thank you very much.
Jody?
Hello. Just a quick reminder that during Downtown Days, the Friends of the Library will be holding their biggest used book sale of the year. It's the bag sale, so big bags fill it with books for $2, and giant bags, fill them for $5. There's lots of great deals to be had, and it'll be from noon to 4 p.m. on both Friday and Saturday at the library.
Thank you. Mr. Shelton?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council, Lisa. Stan Shelton from the Wayne Chamber of Commerce. I just wanted to, we will be participating in the Downtown Days, Friday and Saturday. Also, on Wednesdays, we have a coffee, which we term Wake Up Wednesday. The second Wednesday of the month, every month, so we encourage anybody that wants to meet the chamber or meet some of the other businesses around to join us on the second Wednesday of the month, every month. August 24th, we are sponsoring a golf outing at the Links on Gateway in Romulus. And so we encourage, we need some golfers. We need also prizes, and if anybody's willing to help us out, we'd be willing to take the help. Thank you.
Stan, you didn't say what time your Wednesday event is
8.
in the morning.
How much is the golfing event, John?
Stan, how much is the golf event also?
The golf event, for each golfer, it's $100 to golf. You can donate, there's sponsors, different levels of sponsorship. I don't have it off the top of my head right now, but so I think up to $250, something like that.
So if somebody wanted to give you more, would you take it?
Where would that?
I'm just kidding. Anybody else? Move the agenda.
Item number 7, items for next agenda. Okay, moving to number 8 is consent calendar, which contains the Board of Review minutes of July 16th, the Wayne Housing Commission minutes of June 12th, 2019, Wayne Public Library minutes of June 12th, 2019.
Motion to approve without exception.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Comments from members of the City Council.
Evan?
For me?
You're looking down, yes.
Me? That's me? Okay, thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to highlight something I read on Facebook. The Wayne Westland Family Resource Center is highlighting immunizations for kids going back to school, and this is something that's available. The clinic is open all year round for the Wayne Westland school students. Call to make an appointment for your student, 734-728-2423. Also, if you do see a street light out in the city of Wayne, please contact the DPW at 721-8600. That would be 721-8600. With that, I'll pass.
Okay, Councilman Miller?
Thank you, Mayor Racy. A few things. I just want to call out that starting tomorrow at the Wayne Library, you have your opportunity to be able to vote for some of the great photographers and photographs of windows in Wayne. Also, I want to call out is the Wayne Westland Special Olympics group. They held a car wash a few Sundays ago that I had the privilege of being able to be with, and they raised $500. They'll have some more coming up events coming on, but let's not forget our individuals in our community with Special Olympics. Lastly, I also want to call out the Fraternal Order of Police, Michigan State Lodge. It's an organization that actually is a nonprofit organization that actually helps police officers, their families really, that they lost their family member, help support them after the passing of their husband or wife in the police force, and also do some investing in being able to create a more professional law enforcement within our communities. So they do call. I ask you to make that donation. I do have a phone number if you'd like to also call them. It is, let me get my glasses focused here for a minute. Is 844-295-9745. Again, this is the Fraternal Order of Police, Michigan State Lodge. And they are a well-respected a group that do some really dedicated things for the people that put their life on the line every day for us in our communities. And lastly, I hope everyone's having a good summer. I hope you're taking advantage of some of the great events that we have going on in this community. And I also just want to say, stay cool. Make sure you're checking on your elders. Make sure, I learned this because of my mom, is that as we get older, we actually forget to drink water, to replenish ourselves. This is really, during these times of the year, that's an important thing. So those are just a little things reasons why we always need to check on our elder neighbors. You see something unusual going on, go over there and knock on the door and just say hi. And make sure that they are safe and there's no issues there. With that, I will pass. Thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman Skiff.
Hello, thank you. Yes, I just wanted to say I encourage everybody to check out Downtown Days this Friday and Saturday. I plan on being there in and out both days. It sounds like it's going to be a really great time. They have events planned throughout the whole day, Friday and also Saturday. And so I'm looking forward to that. Also just wanted to say, I wanted to let everybody know that concerts in the park are tomorrow night as well. I've been attending them, having a great time. Last Wednesday was a great crowd. I actually got to attend a block party for the citizens, residents on Carnegie Street. If any of you remember their situation, last year they were unable to have their block party because of a situation that was happening in their neighborhood. And I'm just want to say that I'm very happy that they were able to resume their normal annual block party that they have every year. And they raved about the last concerts in the park that we had, and that they were also looking forward to tomorrow night as well. So everybody seems to be having a great time. It's a great crowd. I'd encourage you to come out. I myself it's nice to see people that I haven't even seen since high school, so that was interesting. I don't know how they recognize me, but they seem to have done that. I just also wanted to say the photography contest that Councilman Miller brought up, I actually got a chance to vote earlier today. I kind of thought that it ended today, but I could be wrong. I thought it ended at 8 o'clock tonight. Not to contradict anything that he said, but if there is another chance to vote, I would encourage you to get out and vote. There's some great photography over there and definitely well worth seeing. Thank you.
Councilman Webster.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to give a shout out to some of our citizens and the Bionic Zebras. They've been part of some pop-up cleanups in some of our parks, and they've had a chance to clean around some of the signs that haven't got the attention lately. So I just want to thank you for getting out there and continuing to make our parks look great. And then aside from that, there's been a lot of things in the news lately with the shootings and whatnot. So I just want to remind everybody, when you're out in public, just be vigilant. What's going on? You never know sometimes what people's intentions are, unfortunately. But it's just good when you're walking around, not necessarily being buried in your phone, be aware of your surroundings and those that are around you. With that, I'll pass.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. First, Department of Transportation of Michigan reported 22 people killed on the highway the last week of July, bringing the total this year to 515 in Michigan. People, please drive safe and be aware of the other drivers out there. Put the cell phones down if you use it. Just watch everybody. It's terrible. 515 of our citizens killed. That's just unbelievable. Second of all, Brenda Ozog presented me with this final roundup for the Wayne Westland Community Schools Head Start. The final day is August 6, 2019, at Stottlemyre Gym, 10 to 12 in the morning. If you wish to enter your child, there's the flyer for it. I'd like to thank Beaumont Hospital, the mayor and I don't know who else was down, the mayor and I were there, to have their 4th annual Family Safety Awareness Day last Thursday. If you didn't get there, plan on being there next year, especially if you have young children. It's a fantastic event. It's a learning event. Our firemen were there. There were all kinds of people there to teach them safety awareness. And Councilman Webster sort of stole my thunder on the Bionic Zebras, but they were at the last couple concerts in the park, and I'm hoping they'll be at this one. And for $10, you can get this beautiful certificate. I'm going to hang it over my picture so that it does twofold. I get to see this, and I don't have to look at my picture. And let's see. Lastly, I would like to say thank you to Fred Koval for serving with the DPW for 18 years. And thank you to Martha for reminding me. That's all.
Thanks, Tom. We should also wish the Mayor Pro Tem happy birthday. He had one over the weekend, so.
I do not celebrate birthdays after 70. And that was about 6 years ago.
So, couple things. A question was asked about the master plan survey. Just so people realize, this is about the best use of land. There'll be other things in the future, but this is what they're focusing on right now, is the best use of the land for what the survey's encompassing. So when you're taking that, think about that when you do that. And then I wanted to also mention Beaumont did a great job again. It was definitely worth going out there. And if people don't realize, you can go out there and get, for the small kids, they have bikes that they're giving away. I bet you there was 20 bikes that they raffled off at least, and helmets. They have free helmets for the kids that day. So if you know people in the future, they're going to do that again next year. It's every year they come out in groves and have tons of stuff to give away, and free food and all sorts of health initiatives and things for the kids. So it's definitely worth your time to go down there and check it out. And I wanted to mention Downtown Days is going to be happening this weekend. Encourage people to come out and celebrate for that. On Saturday, we'll be celebrating the 150th anniversary of the Village of Wayne, and that's at 5 o'clock Saturday. So if you are able to come out, there'll be a birthday cake celebration with that. So it should be a good time. And then the bands after that, Toppermost, who has played at our concerts in the past, it's a Beatles tribute band that'll be playing, really good. And then Phoenix Theory, which is a offshoot of 50 Amp Fuse. So it should be a really great evening for everybody coming out for that. And then just want to thank everybody for coming out to the concerts at the park. They've been, again, very well attended, and people have been having a great time. And just ask people to you can also park at the parking structure. There's been shortage of parking, and if you can come in off the parking structure, and it's actually not any farther a walk than a lot of places. If you come down the Plaza, the Veterans Plaza Street, and come down Second, you're very, very close to the event, and you'll have plenty of parking over there if you can't find a spot. With that, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.